In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Joel Embiid against Victor Wembanyama. Now, there's a huge height advantage for Victor, but Joel Embiid was able to score 70 points against him. So let's get down and let's check out what he was able to do to be able to score against this gigantic player. Really quickly, if you want to be able to shoot the basketball better, make sure to go check out my shooting workout that is down in the description below. Now let's get down, let's check out Joel Embiid. And of course, if you want like the idea of me writing on top of video like I am right now, you can go check out the link for Coach Lens that is down in the description below. Okay, so now in this next play, we have Joel Embiid at the point. He's going to receive that ball from the wing, and then when he gets that ball, right away, he is looking at the defense. He is not just scanning what his man is doing, but he's also scanning what these other players here are doing as well. Because believe me, while Victor is a very big player, Joel Embiid is an even bigger, stronger player. Not necessarily in height, but in muscle size. So nobody wants this guy to drive, so they're going to be packing the paint quite hard. What does Joel Embiid do? Well, he sizes up Victor. He creates that distance between those two players. And then, what's he do? Once he gets that distance that he needs, he pulls up for that shot. Now, when he pulls up for this shot, he does a quick gather. Watch this right here. This little bit of a hop creates the distance needed. This gets Victor onto his heels, and going into this side hop as we are seeing right here, this allows a one motion straight up into a shot. This is going to allow you to be able to score and shoot against taller players. These gathers into your shot is a quick release tip that you can use against taller players, as we see right here, and Joel Embiid was able to make that shot. Okay, so now he's coming down on this right side. We can see that all three players were trying to pack that line so that he was unable to drive, and then they went back to their men, especially when he passed that ball off. Now, once he receives that ball back from his teammate, he's looking again and trying to figure out where his guys are and where their defenders are. He now attacks this side. Victor is trying to force him towards that right side into these double defenders because he probably knows, and their strategy probably says, to force Embiid into help defenders because now he's a big man. He may not be able to pass as fast off of the dribble, but also Victor needs help size-wise. So, what does he do? He crosses back over, does a quick step back. He's created that distance, or at least enough distance that he needs to be able to get that high release shot off. And it does help Joel Embiid to have that high release. That high set point also helps him a lot right here too. If he was to try and shoot from his chest like a lot of younger players do, this would have been 100% blocked. And of course, if you're going to score 70 points, you're going to need to get to the free throw line too, because by scoring 70 points, you need to have time where you score when the clock is not running. And you do that by making free throws. Now watch this battle in the low post, and you can actually see how much stronger Joel Embiid really is. And this is almost an absolute clinic in the low post, because a lot of players are afraid, especially at younger ages, to create contact down here because they're afraid of getting the foul. They're afraid of what this other player might do. They may be afraid of hurting this other player, whatever it may be. You have to remember, this is the other team. You should not be caring about them. And look at the position that Embiid is getting on Victor. Let me just rewind this really quick and let me show you. Watch his knee right here. This is very important. He lifts that knee right up into the upper legs, thigh, stomach area of that player. This is going to lift him up to get him slightly off balance. This isn't about trying to hit him in a certain area. This is just trying to lift that player up so that you can have your time to get underneath of him to get position. Now, when he gets position, he gets his hand up. He's got his other arm locked into the shoulder of Victor so that Victor can't jump over top to intercept this pass. We have Joel Embiid with his feet nice and wide, with one of his feet underneath or in between the 2 feet of Victor, which will allow him to get good position. He's then able to push off that forearm into the shoulder is what created this distance. There's no fouls here at all so far. They were both in each other's cylinders, which means that any contact would have been just mutual. And then when he's able to push off, he's looking over his shoulder right away. He knows that there's now 3 guys who are probably going to try and play defense on him, so he needs to be able to get up quick. He keeps that ball at his waist so that he's able to go up for that dunk. If he went up for the layup, this would have been 100% blocked, so he had to dunk it here. Now watch this lock and seal right here. He's posting up on this side. He's trying to get his foot in between the feet of the defender. Now, this isn't against Victor, but he still scored 70 points. Once this guy was trying to overplay on that front side, he then spun off and posted up the opposite side. At the same time, he locked this arm. This move right here is extremely important because now you are locking that defensive player behind you. There is absolutely nothing he is going to be able to do for when you receive that ball. In fact, he even tried to lock this arm so that he would get this arm free so that this guy would still be locked behind him. Instead of him being able to spin off and still guard this side, when he goes and does this spin, he locks that first arm, and watch, he's going to try and lock this arm and let go of this arm. See, right there. And then he wasn't able to. He was still able to receive this pass. If he was able to lock that arm behind him and got this arm free so that he was able to receive that pass, this guy would still be behind him. Technically, yes. Some may say this is a foul, but no referee's going to see it, so it's not a foul. And by locking that guy behind him, he was still able to get that and one. He got the and one call. The ball went in. And of course, this guy's going to complain because he was getting locked. But because when he spun back around, he made body contact with the arm of the shooter, this would be the defensive foul. Referees don't generally see post players locking arms. If they do, then they got some pretty darn good eyesight. Okay, so this is actually a really good clinic on how to score on 3 players. Now, I always say if you got 3 players on you, you need to kick that ball out for a pass. So don't think that I'm trying to promote players going 1-on-3. This, in this case, just worked for him because he's a beast. Now, when he gets that main defender on him, he does that quick pass fake. That didn't work, so that man cleared out, and this man decided I'm going to go and double team. Again, keep in mind that there's multiple players who are open. This guy should have been lifting just a bit up here. This would have been a clear passing lane. Over where he is now, he could have intercepted that. And now he's got 2 players on him. Defensively, these guys are still in pretty good position. There's not many passing lanes open. This guy could have ran out here, got a 3. There's offensive options, but the defense is pretty well set. He goes and takes 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, and goes baseline. At this point, he's got 3 players, but he has an opening. He could have made the pass over here. This guy should be stretching out. These guys should not be packing the paint. They should be giving options, but they are not giving Joel Embiid many options whatsoever. So Joel Embiid loses the ball right there, which is generally what happens when you're dribbling against 3 players. And then he's able to receive that lost ball, and he goes straight up. Now, this is actually a smart move because now when he goes straight up, after he loses that ball, everyone's arms are down. They're all trying to go for that ball. So by going straight up for that shot, at least in most cases, he should be called for the foul. And there is a reason why he's calling for the foul. He's asking for the foul because he was fouled. Now, Joel Embiid gets this ball into the mid post right here. He faces up to try and keep Victor honest with what he is doing on defense. And he's also doing some quick fake passes as we see right here so that he can throw off Victor and whatever other defensive players that get thrown off by fake passes. Then at this point, there is no reason to be able to take this man to the post because as soon as you take a dribble, this guy's going to drop in. If you take a dribble, he's going to drop in. You're going to have multiple players on you. So if you want to score, if you want to try and run your score up as much as possible in this situation, which I never say to players you should run up your score, but there are situations where you might want to. For example, in this game, considering the night that it was on, everyone was trying to go for the highest score possible, who was the stars of their teams, and Joel Embiid was then able to go up for that shot. He could have easily passed to this man or passed to the cutter or whatever, but instead he had that high release or high set point anyway, so he's probably going to make the shot, and that's exactly what he did. So there's some tips that Joel Embiid did in game to be able to score 70 points against the #1 draft pick this year. Now, is this always going to happen against Victor? No, Victor's going to get stronger and better. And of course, the night that Joel Embiid scored 70, it was the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's 81 points. So a lot of players were trying to go for as big of a score as possible. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. Make sure to go check out my shooting workout that is down in the description below, and I will see you guys again next time.